Hi guys, and welcome to this Armada fleet building video. So I've done lots of videos on Kings of War Armada. I absolutely love this game. I think Mantic have done an absolutely incredible job with it. So go and check out all the other videos, painting, so on and so forth. But I had a really interesting comment in one of my videos, and it was like, Tom, I can't get my head around building a fleet. So I thought, hey, why not show people? So in this video, we're going to build an orc fleet with a few upgrades and following the rules of construction. To build your fleet, you need the Kings of War Armada rulebook, which if you're playing the game you probably have, and then the cards that come with your starter fleet. So in the starter fleets, you get the cards obviously which tell you what the ships do, and you track your battle and your damage and so on and so forth. And you get, most importantly, these ones, the fleet rules specific for your race, and then fleet specific upgrades. Okay, so we'll get onto those later. But first of all, let's have a look at the composition of your fleet. One of the jobs that Mantic have done really well is keep the balance of the game, which is so important. I'm such an advocate of balanced games because the more balance there is, the more fun there is. Nobody just wants to get steamrolled over by the cheesiest combination. So in the building a fleet section, there's a bit of sort of background about it. We like to keep the game fair, so on and so forth, which is great. And then the first main rule is your fleet selection. So obviously you're picking a point level. You might say we're going to play a 150 point game. The first rule, for every 50 points of that point level you're playing with your friends, you must have at least one ship of any size. And then you can only have a main battleship, allows you to have 2 support ships. You cannot select support ships only. You must have at least one main battleship, and from that you can have 2 support ships. What that means is, if we have a look at my orc cards, and a hammer fist. So a hammer fist is a main battleship. So when I purchase a hammer fist for my fleet, it then opens up the allowance for me to take support ships, which are blood runners, bomb boats, and other things. So that would allow me, a hammer fist would allow me to add a bomb boat and a blood runner in. I can't just fill my fleet with blood runners or fill my fleet with bomb boats, as it wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be a fun proposition for your opponent to play against. So if we start by taking that, let's have a look at our build. So I'm going to start by taking a hammer fist, which is a 32 point main battleship. Okay, that hammer fist then allows me to have 2 support ships. So I'm going to take a bomb boat at 18 points and a blood runner at 16 points. I'm then going to add a second hammer fist in as a main battleship and have 4 ships in my fleet. So if we total up the points just for the ships, we've got 32, another 32 to go to 64, 80 points with a 16 point blood runner, and 98 points with a bomb boat. So that, if we're playing, say, 100 points, is well within the ship per 50 points. What we can now do is look at upgrading our ships. So upgrades add little extra bits, little tweaks you can do to your fleet to make them a bit different, a bit unique, so we're not just all playing with the same things. So in the book, there's a list of standard upgrades. Okay, now standard upgrades are available to any fleet unless specified otherwise. Okay, so anyone can have access to these standard upgrades. There are also magical upgrades, and magical upgrades are a bit more powerful. They might be things like a brew of strength, or a scroll that does something, or a hex scroll that affects the game in more of a profound way. Now, only a main battleship can take a magical upgrade, and they're limited to both 1 per ship and a maximum of 1 per type per fleet. So for example, if I wanted a mind fog scroll, I could give that to my hammer fist. We get him here. I could give him a mind fog scroll, which allows once per game the ship with the upgrade can declare its use at the start of a turn. Declare the use of the scroll before you roll for wind. For the rest of that turn, this ship cannot be the target of enemy shooting further than 10 inches away from it, and it's all at a -2 additional modifier, and that's going to cost me 3 points. If I was to put that on my hammer fist would then be 35 points. Simple as that. Because it's magical, I couldn't then take another mind fog scroll and put it on another ship, so I can't just like blanket my fleet like that. Okay. If we look at the upgrades, there's also fleet-specific ones. So in your fleet box, you'll have, I've got the orc ones here, which is specific just to orcs. So, for example, I can put Morax, okay, as a standard ship upgrade, only on a main battleship, and I add 2 to the ship's crew strength when making boarding actions. Now for 4 points on an orcs, I'm pretty much going to give that to every main battleship I can. And I can also take more guns, also on a main battleship, and +1 close weapon to each broadside position on the ship for 4 points. Okay, so there are a limit to the number of upgrades you can have on a ship, and this is really the fun aspect, is where you can tweak your list and see what you want to do. Now, no ship can have the same upgrade more than once, so I can't say my beloved Hammer Fist is having 3 Morax on it. So you can only have that once. And I'm also limited to the number of upgrades I can give a ship. So a tiny ship can have none, a small ship can have 1, a medium ship, which is what my Hammer Fist is, can have 2 upgrades, a large ship can have 3, and an extra large can have 4. So let's upgrade my Hammer Fist. So if I want to take my 32-point Hammer Fist, I think the first thing that I'm going to give it is definitely the Orc upgrade Morax. Okay, so I want that 4-point upgrade on there, which is going to add 2 to my crew strength, taking it to a crew strength of 6. Orcs like boarding after all. Okay, I can still give it another upgrade if I wanted to. So for example, I'm going to give it Sturdy Construction. Okay, which is another 4 points and is a standard upgrade out of the rulebook, and adds 10 to the structure points and 5 to the nerve value. So far we spent 4 points on Sturdy Construction, 4 points on Morax for a total of 8 on my 32-point ship. My ship is now 40 points. Now a special rule as well, and these vary from fleet to fleet. For Orcs, they really like grappling. So grappling hooks only cost 1 point for a ship in this fleet, and it doesn't count against the maximum number of upgrades a ship can have. So I'm also going to give this ship grappling hooks for a total of 41 points. One of the last upgrade types a ship can have is a captain upgrade. Now these are really sort of funky individual characters of the high seas that we found around Mantica. Now they are all fleet specific, and they do count as an upgrade towards the maximum upgrades your ship can have. I'm not going to put one on my second Hammer Fist. You don't have to. I think these are the things that want to be on the really big ships. For example, I have an 8-point one that lets me actually turn a ship 180 once per game at the end of a move step. Or I have one which allows me to shoot twice from its weapons positions. So captain upgrades are there as well, and they can really make a massive difference in swinging the game. But let me have a look at my second Hammer Fist. So for my second Hammer Fist, I also want to give it some upgrades. I'm going to go with Morax again, because I just think that that's so powerful, taking one of its options. I'm going to give it the grappling hooks that the Orcs love for a point as well, and it doesn't count towards those upgrade options. And I think that a magical upgrade is going to go on this ship, the War Drum of Spite. And whilst within 8 inches of the ship, all friendly ships cause 6 damage when inflicting crushing blows in boarding actions. Orcs love a good board. We also have the option to give upgrades to our smaller ships in the fleet. So for my Blood Runner here, again it's good for boarding. It's a medium ship, a support ship, so it can have 2 upgrades, 2 standard upgrades. So again, I'm going to go for Morax, and I'm also going to give it hooks. Okay, so we add those points onto that ship's total for our list. For the Bombout, now this is a support ship that sort of sits at the back and drops the odd shell here and there. It's quite an interesting little boat, to be honest with you. So I am going to give it something. It can have 1 upgrade as a support ship, and I believe we will give it a Master Gunner. One of the final things that we do after we've bought all of our upgrades and put them on our ships and obeyed the ship construction and so on and so forth, you can actually alter the crew levels of ships. So unless it specifies otherwise, they all start with the regular crew, which is not great for skill tests and things like that. You can choose to demote a ship's crew to inexperienced, and after you have the ship and all of the upgrades, you then subtract 20% of this cost rounding up, and that's the final cost. However, what I'm going to do is promote ship's crews to veteran. I'm going to do that on both Hammer Fists and on my Blood Runner. And after I choose my upgrades, so for my Blood Runner, it's 16 points. I'm giving it Morax 4 points, taking it to 20, and Hooks takes it to 21. I then add 20% of that cost on, rounding up. Okay, so that takes me to 26 points total for that ship, and that's my final cost of my now veteran Blood Runner. So let's have a look at the final crew and the final list and see what we've managed to make with our 4 ships. Now, by my reckoning, we're at 147 points, so let's have a look. And there we go, that's Armada list building. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please do ask any questions, let me know your list builds. It's still a new game, isn't it? So we're still all getting our heads around how it works. But do let me know how you get along. As always, please subscribe for more Armada content, and wherever you are in the world, happy hobbying.